Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Inside Out Smile. I'm your host Dr. Amber Q, and I wish you could smell the aroma of lilacs that are just, oh my gosh, I have a full vase full, and the aroma, the fragrance is just wafting over me. They're from the tree in the family garden, and well, they're lilac coloured. They're teeny little flowers in a big conglomeration of a bigger flower. I'm not sure how to describe it, but they're beautiful. Have a look at them. If you don't know what lilacs are, please do have a look at them. They smell gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. They remind me so much of my childhood. And speaking of one's childhood, I ended up watching a movie yesterday. After 6.5 months, I watched something that was leisure-based, and I just really needed to watch something that was light-hearted. And so I watched a movie that I'd seen when I was young. I can't even remember the first time that I saw it, but I know that it's one of my firm favourites. I watched it on repeat for years, and then somehow I lost access to it, and then I found it years later, and I've watched it periodically ever since. And it's just such a wonderful film. I think it was filmed in the 40s, and obviously we know that there were issues then, but casting aside racism, etc., it's such a wonderful American movie, and just light-hearted. It's about a teen coming of age. I think in essence it's described as a comedy / romantic movie / musical. I'm not even sure if you could call it a romantic movie, but there is romance in there. But it's just so beautiful, and it talks of a much more innocent age. And it's really interesting because after the movie finished, I ended up, I don't know, somehow just looking at the various cast members. I think I may have Googled it actually, and it said that the last surviving cast member had passed away last year. And it really made me think, I don't know why, but suddenly I was just thinking about so many people that come and go over the ages. I mean, if you just think about it, whether it's Marilyn Monroe, Elvis Presley, or another, I don't know, a historical figure, Audrey Hepburn, and just anyone and everyone over the years, throughout the ages. And if we think about all the people that have come and gone, we know that our place is going to be underground soon enough as well, because life does just flash by, doesn't it, in an instant. And it made me think, and I've thought of this before, oh my gosh, who would I want to meet in heaven? Because you can meet anyone. If you get to heaven, you can meet anyone and everyone that you like, anyone that you were interested in, just as a public figure, historical figure, etc. And obviously any, of your nearest and dearest, because obviously those would be the people you would obviously want to meet first. But sort of within that, I think the thing is that, there was something else. I saw lots of comments about the movie, and people were saying, oh my gosh, what a shame that we've lost our morals and people don't behave like this or don't think like this. And I thought to myself, it's really interesting that you say that, because a lot of the principles in the movie were Islamic principles, modesty, and just preserving that innocence of youth and sort of studying hard at school and things, and having a positive impact on society. So those things are still very much alive in many Christian, Jewish, as well as Islamic households. So I thought that was really interesting. But when I was thinking about, my gosh, all the cast members have died, and, and we're only here for a short period of time, and so many civilizations have come and gone, and it made me recall that how are we actually remembered? I know people want to leave a legacy. You look at the billionaires and they want to travel to the moon and things, but I think it's so much more simple than that. And obviously you get people who do sort of have various hospital wings named after them, etc. And I understand that must have an impact. If you're somebody that utilizes that part of a hospital, maybe your child is unwell, etc., and you would think of that person. But really it makes me think of just those normal acts of kindness and charity that we could all do. And obviously during Ramadan, for Muslims, it's a very charitable time for us. It's a time when we pay. So Muslims have something that they will pay on an annual basis, which is called zakah. And I think that maybe Christians have something similar. Can't remember if it's called bonds or something, but essentially zakat is something that you pay. It's a minimum of 2.5% of all of your savings from a particular year, so anything that you saved over 12 months, and so not taking into account bills and things, but you pay 2.5% minimum, and then obviously give more if you can. And during Ramadan, lots of people give as much as they can. And it's really interesting because I was looking at various things like, building a house for displaced Syrians costs £3,000, and you could get tents for displaced Gazans. And obviously you can contribute to feeding hungry people and giving water to thirsty people all over the world, because so many people do not have clean drinking water. So it's just incredible, isn't it, to think about people that are suffering everywhere, and the fact that you can actually make such an impact in someone's life. You don't need to be a billionaire. You can be kind to people in your neighborhood. You can donate to people across the other side of the world, because we know that the world is such a small place. And we can really make an impact. And so I was just really thinking about that as I finished watching the movie, because at the end of the day, when we've gone, very quickly, somebody pointed this out and I think it's so true. We're called, everyone knows us by our name, but yet as soon as we pass away, we're then immediately known as the body, right? The body, because the soul has, exited the body, and everyone just starts called, whether they're religious or not, will start calling you, where's the body? Has the body been prepared for the funeral, etc. And so it really shows that we're only here for a short time on earth, and that, I've always said it's quite animalistic, isn't it? Just to kind of eat, drink, entertain yourself, because we are the best of creation, and, we have so many gifts compared to sort of other animals. And how can we sort of best utilize these gifts? And that's by serving humanity. And that's great if you've got an occupation that helps others, but also it is just how we conduct ourselves day to day. And so I was thinking, there's so many things that I would love to do. And I've always thought about orphans, and I know that obviously, unfortunately, so many more orphans have been created. But those are things I think that really distinguish us. How are we going to help our fellow human beings whilst we are here on earth? And so that charming little movie made me think about so many things. And I just want to share that with you, as well as the lilac. So as I was thinking of my childhood, I was just turning all these thoughts over in my mind about how we can make an impact in our lives, and after our lives, and that's only through the actions that impact others positively and gives them a better future, because obviously that will affect their families. Well, every individual that we affect is not in isolation, even if they don't have a family, just the people that they then reach out to and their place in society. And that, of course, is why I started the podcast, because I know there's so many amazing people all over the world, and I think sometimes we all lose our way, don't we, for a period of time, and we just need a nudge back to the right direction. And as I always say, and as I'll finish on this episode by saying, let's all feel extraordinary, create connection, and not just change lives, but let's save lives too.